Senator, I didn't politicize ASIP. I depoliticized it. The Congress has been investigating ASIP.
All over the country, Mr. Secretary, scientists and doctors are saying otherwise.
Now at 6, a recap of yesterday's Senate hearing with Health and Human Service Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., his heated exchange with Oregon Senator Ron Wyden.
Also this morning, the start of the school year still on hold in the largest district in Southwest Washington after a group of striking workers rejected the latest contract offer from Evergreen Schools. We'll have more on this in a live report from Vancouver. Plus,
the last regret I would ever have is buying this store and marrying that woman.
It's a story about goodbyes and love. Coming up at 6:45, we're highlighting a Richfield hardware store that's closing its doors after over 100 years. KGW News at Sunrise starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Friday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. That Ridgefield hardware store, I think, got you a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely got choked up on that.
Yeah, we saw that earlier. If you haven't seen it yet, you'll want to stay tuned. In the meantime, we turn it over to Chris McGinnis. He's handling today's weather forecast.
Brought to you by one of our best photojournalists, Devin Haskins. A great story. Yeah, let's get you out the door here, looking east over, well, what is now a cloudy picture over the Cascades. So we've got some showers across parts of the region. I'll show you radar in a second. But the first thing you're going to notice when you step outside is that it is sticky. By Northwest standards, a dew point at 60 is humid. It's 64 last check at PDX. Elsewhere, we're 62 in Hillsborough, 67 in Wilsonville, and 65 at last check in Salem. Showers and, yes, even some lightning strikes now into portions of Polk and southern and western Yamhill County. Also a batch of showers working its way through the central Oregon Cascades. And at last check in Wasco County, just west of the Dalles, we see a lightning strike there in the last couple of minutes. It's hard to say for sure whether or not these systems completely fall apart before they work their way over the Cascades, and therein lies at least the slightest chance of a shower in the Willamette Valley this morning. You see, again, as we pointed out over towards Grand Run, a couple of lightning strikes. By and large, though, our forecast today is dry, it's hazy, and it's warm, with high temperatures once again getting into the upper 80s. Your full forecast looking ahead to the weekend in a few minutes. We'll get you out the door with a quick look at the roads, and as we look at the roads, they're all green right now. That's good. We'll zoom into I-5 up in Clark County. Your drive out of the over the interstate bridge. It's getting busier, but so far we're rolling along at a speed limit clip this morning, so no problems as far as that's concerned. I do want to remind TriMet riders that a week-long disruption of the Max Blue and Red Line starts this weekend, Sunday through Saturday. TriMet doing some repairs in the Robertson Tunnel, and that means they're going to use shuttle buses to serve all stops between the Sunset Transit Center and Providence Park. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris. Let's get back to our top story here this morning. The school year still on hold in the largest district in Southwest Washington after a group of striking workers rejected the latest contract offer from Evergreen Schools.
So that means today will be the 8th day of canceled classes for kids and teachers in the district. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson is live outside Evergreen High School in Vancouver with the latest. Corey.
That's right. District leaders say they're dealing with a $26 million shortfall over the next 3 years, and there's only so much they can do. But educators, paraeducators, and bus drivers that are part of those classified workers who are striking say they don't feel like they're being heard. Union leaders say they're pushing for better pay, staff stability, and student safety to address problems like working off the clock to ensure that students get to and from buses. On Thursday, the union rejected the district's latest proposal. That offer included a 12.5% increase for paraeducators over 3 years and additional longevity payments to some employees. The district officials say the group could work under the previous agreement while continuing negotiations instead of striking.
A one-time bonus is going to get taxed a lot higher. So even though they're offering $250, it's going to be around maybe $170 one time that we're going to get. That's not what we're looking for.
They keep throwing empty thank yous at us, which aren't even things that we've bargained for at the table at all. Like throwing us stipends as like a thank you isn't anything that we've been negotiating in the first place.
The district leaders say they are continuing to bargain in good faith in order to get kids back into school. District leaders also say they're providing free breakfast and lunch to students as that strike continues. Drew, China.
Corey, thank you. In the meantime, no school again for the La Center School District. Teachers are planning to return to the picket lines today. The union is negotiating with the district on a new contract, with the primary push being for better pay. Both sides were at the bargaining table yesterday, but it's unclear if they made any progress.
We also have news for families with kids in the Stevenson-Carson School District. That district is sending kids home early again today, 2 hours early, because of the weather forecast. Chris McGinnis will have more on just how hot it will get today, coming up in 5 minutes.
Now to some of your other morning headlines. Washington County detectives say they believe that there may be more victims linked to a man already facing multiple sexual assault and kidnapping charges. In July, sheriff's deputies arrested Drew Hendricks, accusing him of kidnapping a 20-year-old woman and sexually assaulting her at his home in Aloha. In addition to that, Hendricks was recently indicted in Columbia County for sex abuse and kidnapping. The sheriff's office said Hendricks used to own a motor company in Portland and was subject of numerous complaints over the years, with women often commenting on his predatory behavior, and was placed under multiple stalking and restraining orders. Since his arrest in July, the sheriff's office says it's received dozens of phone calls and interviewed a number of people about Hendricks' behavior. So detectives are asking anyone with information to give them a call.
Investigators in Calais County used DNA analysis to identify human remains discovered 4 years ago as those of a Portland man who disappeared 3 decades ago. Anthony Matthew Croy went missing from the Portland area in 1995. In 2021, tree planters found his skull with 2 bullet holes in it near Cougar, Washington. The investigation into his death continues.
The man who died at the Burning Man Festival in the Nevada desert was from Tacoma. Police are considering the death of 37-year-old Vadim Kruglov a homicide. Authorities say that he was found in a pool of blood last weekend during the festival's finale. Police say that they interviewed several festival goers but have not announced any arrests. The cause of death is still under investigation.
The former Alaska Airlines pilot accused of trying to shut down a plane's engines in the middle of a flight over Portland has reached a plea deal. That update comes from the attorney for Joseph Emerson. 2 years ago, Emerson was riding off-duty in the cockpit of a Horizon Air flight when he allegedly tried to shut down the plane's engines. Crew members had to restrain him, and the plane made an emergency landing here in Portland. Emerson said at the time that he took psychedelic mushrooms a couple of days before that happened and that he hadn't slept in over 40 hours. He's scheduled to appear in both federal and Multnomah County Court later today.
2 people have been arrested for allegedly starting a fire at the historic train trestle in Newburgh. Police say 2 juveniles broke into a storage shed at a church in June, then stole a gas canister they used to start the fire. Both suspects are now being held at the Yamhill County Juvenile Detention Center. Their names are not being released since they're minors. Commissioners in Multnomah County unanimously approved a new ordinance that bans licensed concealed guns in county buildings. Earlier this year, a law in Oregon was expanded to allow local governments to make their own decisions regarding concealed firearms in public buildings. Portland police are launching a new pilot program to deploy drones to some crime scenes before officers even arrive. The drones at the Portland East Precinct will be able to fly anywhere within a 2.5-mile radius. Now, this is different from Portland's current drone program, which involves having an officer arrive at the scene, then setting up the drone to fly from the scene. Portland Police Chief Bob Day says this will allow officers to get eyes on an emergency even quicker.
This is an example of a learning organization. This is an example of maximizing the resources we have available to provide the highest level of safety and security to the community, recognizing the necessary steps we are taking around transparency. Police say that they understand privacy concerns and emphasize drones won't record while heading to a scene. They also can't enter private property without permission unless there's an emergency. All right, quick look outside by way of our Rose City Skycam. Yep, it is early September, so still kind of looks like nighttime out there, even though we're into the 6 o'clock hour of the Sunrise Show. Chris McGinnis, want to bring you back into the mix. I want to talk about the story we ran just 5 minutes ago. Stevenson-Carson School District. Yeah. Closing down 2 hours early today because of the forecast. You know, just how hot do you think it's going to be in that part of the area?
So Hood River hit 95 yesterday. Stevenson-Carson, not far from Hood River, just to the west. I think temperatures will be a smidge cooler today. And in fact, as we take you out to the gorge, I've got the Dallas camera up right now because we're now starting to see some thunderstorms pop in that area. I don't see, well, as we look off to the west, it looks like there might be some rain falling from that camera. Right now it's 73 degrees, by the way, in the Dalles. So a warm start out there. Radar started to light up a little bit more. At last check, there's a lightning strike being reported in Wasco County, not far from the Dalles. Also at last check, now some cells popping up in Lynn County. Again, all of this within the last 10 or 15 minutes, just south of Mill City, south and east of Staten, and these are drifting generally on off to the north and northwest. So what that means is that, again, with 1 or 2 lightning strikes in these cells out over the Coast Range, the chance of rain in the valley today, especially this morning, is not zero. I bring that up because our modeling is once again doing a terrible job of picking up that overnight early morning thunderstorm activity. So take this with a grain of salt. We've got a little weather disturbance that's passing right overhead right now, so that could be just enough to trigger a spotty shower in the valley. Outside of that, I do think today winds up being partly sunny, hazy, kind of warm, kind of muggy, and thunderstorm redevelopment is likely east of the Cascades. Those are likely to work their way on off to the north or northwest, so once again, Cascade foothills could get hit again overnight tonight. Meanwhile, we should start to feel a little bit more onshore push as we go into tonight and tomorrow, which will start to knock the temperatures down a little bit and also eventually lead to a more significant chance of rain in the 7-day forecast. All right, as far as today's concerned, again, there is that slight chance of a shower probably before noon, otherwise a hazy warm day with a high of 86. The slight shower chance again continues Saturday and Sunday, not because I'm a wimp, not because I want to hedge my bets. I just can't tell you, hey, it's going to be a dry weekend. I just can't stand here right now and say that, but mostly dry, I think. And what we are focusing in on is the rain chance for Monday and Tuesday. That is now a likely period of some wet weather as we head back to work and school next week. Back to you guys.